Platypus by Tom Sutcliffe. This diagram is showing Monotremes' animal diversity. This type of diagram is called a cladogram, and every time it branches off, it means something new has been formed under the following characteristics. For example, Porifera is an ancestral protist with no true tissue, and this is why it branches away. Monotremes fall under the Chordata phylum, since they are all mammals and have the following characteristics: an ancestral protist with true tissue, bilateral symmetry, coelom in digestive tube, and segmentation. Chordata is multicellular and a eukaryotic cell, which means that it has a nucleus. The further right to the top of the cladogram you go, the longer it has taken to develop over millions of years. A platypus is classified according to its kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species, or KPCOFGS for short. Every single organism in the world has different characteristics and classifications. For example, the duck-billed platypus can be classified as follows: Kingdom, Animalia. An Animalia has multicellular eukaryotic cells, diploid dominant life cycles, and reproduces sexually. The phylum is Chordata, since it has a notochord on the dorsal side of the body, and the digestive, circulatory, and nervous systems have been well developed. They are also vertebrates. The class is Mammalia, since they are warm-blooded contain mammary glands. The order is Synapsed, and the family is Monotremata, since they are egg-laying mammals, feed their young on the milk, and they only have one hole, i.e. the gut. Their genus is Ornithicus, not sure how you say that, sorry, and the species is O. ananthius. By using these specific classifications, we can work out what the platypus can and can't do, or have or doesn't have. The platypus's phylum is Chordata. All Chordata have the same characteristics, and that is why they belong to the same phylum. All Chordata will possess for some period of their life a notochord, i.e. number 2 on the right in that diagram, a dorsal nerve cord, number 3, paralyngeal slits, number 10, and a post-anal tail, number 4. If it doesn't have these characteristics, it doesn't belong to the phylum Chordata. Some other examples apart from the monotremes are mammals, birds, fish, amphibians, and reptiles. Another characteristic of being a part of the phylum Chordata is that the organism is bilaterally symmetrical. This allows for capable movement through water and on land, since the platypus is semi-aquatic. A sagittal plane divides it into two equal halves, since it is bilaterally symmetrical. A duck-billed platypus has a high cephalization, since all 5 senses are located or run through the anterior of the body, i.e. the head. A duck-billed platypus is a triblastic coelomate. It contains 3 layers that have been developed from the embryo: the endoderm, the mesoderm, and the ectoderm. So, that's the triblastic part explained. Now let's explain the coelomate part. Essentially, that means it has coelom. The coelom splits the mesoderm in half, surrounding the endoderm and gut, while being surrounded by the ectoderm. All Chordata are triploblastic coelomate organisms. All monotremes have a through gut, which essentially takes food from the mouth at one end, passing through the stomach, pancreas, and intestines until it reaches the anus, where waste is digested out the other end. This is a characteristic of all monotremes, be there only 3 species of them. The advantages of the through gut include that the feces are released away from the new food taken in, and that the gut has different regions that have specialized in different functions, like digesting and absorbing food. As we have discussed before, all Chordata contain coelom. Coelom is found in a fluid-filled gap in between the mesoderm, which is now divided into an outer and an inner layer. The mesoderm mostly becomes muscle tissue, which relaxes and contracts muscles to do movement and work in a variety of different ways and places. The advantages of the coelom are in abundance, as they help locomotion, not to affect peristalsis during muscle movement. Peristalsis, by definition, is waves of muscular contraction that moves food along the gut. It also allows organs to grow in size and complexity, and finally works as a hydrostatic skeleton, which is ideal since a platypus is a semi-aquatic organism. A platypus has two sets of feet, one at the front, the other at the back. These feet have different characteristics that help the platypus in many ways. The front feet are webbed and are used to help them glide and swim quickly in the water. The back feet are often folded for the use of walking on land. However, on land they are slower and walk with their legs spread out, just like a lizard. Male platypuses have spurs on their hind feet that are connected to poison glands that defend themselves from predators higher on the food chain than them, or by attacking those below them. Monotremes are very different in regards to reproduction, since they aren't your typical live young newborns from mammals. Monotremes are the only mammal to lay eggs. This reproduction process happens sexually between a male and a female in mating season. They lay their eggs on the stream banks and curl around them, trying to keep them warm. Monotremes produce milk for the offspring from mammary glands through holes in their skin, since all mammalia don't have nipples, but rather mammary glands. The egg fertilizes internally, and the embryo begins to develop during the 10 to 20 day gestation period. Whilst the egg is in the oviduct, a shell is being produced onto the egg. The egg shell is soft, leathery, and porous. Once the egg is laid, and after 10 days of incubation, the embryo is fully. A platypus is only found in eastern Australia and Tasmania, meaning it will only have an impact on those trophic levels of those areas. The platypus is a carnivorous primary consumer that controls the population of producers in the food chain below. It also ensures that the sick and weak are culled from the herd, whilst limiting the abundance of small fish, worms, insects, snail, and krill. The duck-billed platypus uses its sensitive snout to help locate prey that it crushes with the horny pads located on the upper and lower jaws, since they have no teeth. The platypus also can store food in its cheeks when hunting underwater. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you all learned something new about platypuses in general.